Low carb diet. So typically it's about 50 to 150 grams per day. So who's been on a low carb diet? I have to do it. So if you don't put your hand up, you're talking shit. Anyway, everyone is either been on one or knows someone who's been on a low carb diet. So generally it's like, 50 to 150 grams a day. The potential benefits are that if you reduce intake of carbohydrate, generally we start to see an increase in protein intake, which is very favorable for managing body composition. If we look at, I'll just call them all the smart people, the ones that just like lead the research with like all the nutrition and the diets, and we go and quantify the successful traits of a diet for managing body composition or weight loss. It's like protein's a constant, and high protein intake is a constant. So again, it's not your meathead bodybuilder telling you to eat protein because they do. It's like success leaves clues, and it's the same piece of information across the board. So we do see a potential shift towards high protein intake. If someone has like issues managing large amounts of carbohydrates from an insulin sensitivity perspective, then peeling back the calories and or the carbohydrates can be a way of resetting that. I do that sometimes even just acutely within the week for my clients who eat 600, 700, 800 grams of carbs a day. So there's potential benefit there. And there's obviously enough food variety if you're on the 150 gram per day spectrum. There's not a lot of food variety on the 50 gram per day spectrum. So to my competitors, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. The weaknesses though, the biggest one is the improved body composition results from a low carb diet will falsely give the interpretation that removing the carbohydrate is the reason why they got that outcome. So it's removing the carb. People go, oh, I lost weight removing the carb. They don't think that if I remove my 200 grams of carbs a day, that's 800 calories, that it's the 800 calories that gave me the favorable outcome. It's the carbohydrate. So all of a sudden carbs make you lose weight, and then we have this whole thing going, where you have to be on a low carb diet to lose fat, for example. So that's probably the biggest one. Again, we've spoken about it. It's the energy balance thing that we're working with. So it's the sum of energy going in, the sum of energy going out, which can be met with carbohydrates in the diet. Is everyone with me on that one? Good, get your carbs in, guys. Hard to comply long-term due to restriction in food variety on the lower end, I should say. And then, like in our diet in the Western culture, we eat a lot of carbohydrates. We've got access to normal, not normal, like, harvest-based goods like fruits and vegetables and starches and grains. Then we're going to go to the shop and get a bag of fucking lollies, and you can get a drink, a carbonated beverage that's full of sugar as well. So we just have access to lots of them. So we need to consider that as well. And we're hyperactive, so we can have more, or active or hyperactive. But yeah, so just some things to consider. It does get really good results, generally because of the energy balance management, not reducing the carbs, okay? But if you like to eat a high fat diet and manage your intake and in a deficit and fat loss is your goal, then you may not need to eat that much carbohydrates, maybe.